Now let me move across the land since we're talking about this. At least we know this, that on the day of an election, it will not be canceled 2:30 a.m. in the morning before everybody goes to the poll, like what just happened in Nigeria.
Yes, and I think the United States deserves some credit. We had the Secretary of State called over to Atiku Abubakar and said, and as well as Mr. Buhari, and said we need to have fair and free and legitimate elections. Karen Bass and Chris Smith in the Congress have introduced resolutions saying, yes, this needs to be fair, free, and one that produces a result that's legitimate.
Well, the only reason it was canned is because Atiku would have won.
Of course it was. And you know,
yes.
in Armstrong, they had the polling hours 6 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon, polls closed. That was what the scheduled hours available for polling were. So we know he canceled, they were postponed it for a week because that may take us that time to try to rig it the next time. So we need to make certain we've got total transparency and the spotlight on Nigeria so the election is fair and legitimate. Nigerian people can have a government that reflects themselves. Otherwise, you could have 200 million Nigerians with refugee problems everywhere.
Let's also remember, though, that this is the same Congress that's debating H.R. 1 right now, which would effectively silence people's ability to effectively organize and speak out on specific political issues. In the name of transparency, what they're trying to do is stop people from being able to organize, use their voices, and push back on things. So again, let's stop romanticizing how much Americans supposedly are pro-free election, because they're not. This is about them getting their power back, and this is why they're debating a bill right now that would legitimately stop our ability to organize.
Well, I think your view seems to be, unless it's perfect and has satisfied some ideal, then it's romanticizing.
And stop worrying about Nigeria.
Well, are you against free and fair elections in Nigeria?
I am against our own country trying to stop people from organizing. So why are we focused on Nigeria and not focused on what our own government's doing?
You can do chew gum and walk at the same time.
If we could do that, then we could.
Well, there are some.
We can't even take care of the kids in Flint. But we're worried about people in Honduras.
There are some major problems with H.R. 1. There certainly are, and I appreciate you bringing that up. You know, in terms of Nigeria, Armstrong, this is not a problem just what happened in the last 24 hours, though. They've canceled the previous, they had to delay the previous 2 elections. So, I mean, you go back to this country, I mean, there is significant problems that we've seen taking place overseas. Not just here. I mean, look at the situation in Venezuela. I mean, my goodness, people are turning to the streets every day to protest the government there, and rightfully so.